the different types of institutional filings? There are numerous filings which you will deal with consistently throughout your time at IPRIO. The most common are 13Fs, 13Ds, and 13Gs. A 13F is a quarterly filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, that is required of all institutional investment managers with over $100 million in qualifying assets that use the United States mail or other means or instrumentality of interstate commerce in the course of their business, as these filings are only mandatory for firms with significant U.S. business investments. The vast majority of international investment firms do not file 13Fs. 13F filings must be filed within 45 days after the end of each quarter. So if the end of the quarter was March 31st, the 13F is not required to be filed with the SEC until May 15th at the latest. As you track your client, you will notice some firms will file far before the 45-day due date, and others, specifically many hedge funds, will typically wait until the last minute to file. Within a 13F filing, a manager must report the following for each security. "13F filings can be found on the SEC's website each quarter. This list generally includes a 13G filing is required whenever an investment firm acquires a beneficial ownership of 5% or more of voting class of a company's stock, with no intent to change or influence control over the issuer or company. The filing must occur within 45 days of the end of the calendar year in which the investor exceeds the 5% threshold. Therefore, if an investment firm takes a 5% or more stake in a public company with a passive stance to management, and it takes that stake in March, it will have nearly 9 full months before it will need to file its 13G. However, once a 13G is filed, the company will have to file amendments in 3 situations. First, on an annual basis, updating the firm's current ownership. Second, the firm will have to file an amended 13G within 10 days after the end of a month, in which the investment firm's ownership stake exceeds 10% of the public corporation. Finally, and third, the firm will have to file an amended 13G within 10 days after the end of a month, anytime the firm's ownership increases or decreases by at least 5%. Meanwhile, fixed income ownership disclosure is not required. A 13D filing is required whenever an investment firm acquires a beneficial ownership of 5% or more of the voting class of a company's stock, with the purpose being to change or influence control over the issuer. However, any investment firm must also file a 13D if they acquire more than 20% stake in a public company, no matter what their intentions are. The filing must occur within 10 days after the purchase takes place in either situation. The 13D filing will require detailed disclosures, including information regarding the background of the investor, purpose of acquiring the stock, and arrangements made with the issuer. Amendments for 13Ds will be required in the event of any material changes. An easy way to remember the difference between a 13G and a 13D is 13G for good and 13D for danger. Something to keep an eye out for.